Interface Video presents Fairhope Hospice Today. Brought to you by Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, Fairfield Medical Center, Dagger Law, and the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home.
Welcome to Fairhope Hospice Today. Hi, I'm Kim Shook, Community Education Coordinator here at Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, home of the Pickering House.
And I am Kristen, your President and CEO at Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, and we are outside today.
Yes, it's a beautiful summer, almost morning, and just great to be here with all of you and wanting to share all of our information about hospice and palliative care.
I can't believe we're already here in June and talking about family vacations and summertime. And as you can see, we're right outside the Pickering House, and behind us is some of the beautiful woods, and to the left of us is the Pickering House and our 38 acres of just serene woods and grounds for our families and staff to really enjoy. We're very fortunate.
We sure are. It's a beautiful environment, very calming, and a place to come and reflect and celebrate the life of a loved one that's here for care and having us take care of them in their time of need.
I know we talk about this a little bit, but I'm not really sure. After I'm sitting out here this morning and, kind of taking in this fresh air, I'm not sure people always realize that we have this much just open area, and we have a shelter house out back. We have a playground for children, and just a lot of places for people just to walk and be peaceful and reflect. So thank you to the community and for our families that have supported us for so long.
Yeah, it's very beautiful, and a lot of amazing things take place here at the Pickering House. Beautiful memories have been made for families. Just lots of wonderful care that we can provide them.
Yeah, I think it's important to kind of talk about June is really the start of summer, and it's a family time. A lot of families, and I know as myself with some younger kids, it's hard to get family time together where you can spend a little bit of time together and just slow down after the busy year that you have. And I think sometimes we see that with our hospice families and our referrals that we get. It's just a difficult time. I think someone who chooses or is ready for hospice care, that's a big decision. And so I think that when people try to make that decision at any point of the year, but especially right now, the weather's beautiful and they just want to be with family and get out and maybe do a little bit of traveling. And so I think sometimes people think, well, I'm not ready to do that. I'm not ready to make a referral or sign on to hospice yet. Do you see that sometimes?
We sure do. People are just maybe hesitant because they're just wanting to celebrate one more holiday or occasion and make memories. But we can do that the families can do that alongside of our care that we can provide, and while they're going through that journey with a hospice diagnosis to where that they are going to need our care, they can give us a call at 740-654-7077. It's just an easy call. It seems hard, but it's easy once you make that decision to explore this wonderful care that we can provide.
I think the hard part is picking up that call to make that first call. But as we talk about that a little bit and just people being hesitant to really sign on to hospice during this beautiful time of year, there's a lot of options for them. I think sometimes people don't realize, and studies have really shown, that people who elect to use their hospice benefit, once they make that decision, their life expectancy increases. And I think the reason that we see that is because, what we provide for the patients and the families is just really good quality of life, quality of care, quality of life. A lot of times leading up to a hospice decision, people have spent many, many days in the hospital. It's hard for the family, it's hard for the loved ones, and they just continue to just seek comfort and support. And I think oftentimes they don't quite know where to go to get that.
Right, and it can be exhausting just seeking one more treatment or just some more help, just to make mom or dad or your loved one feel better. You just want to like make one more effort to bring comfort to them, and we can bring that comfort that people are looking for.
Yeah, and I think too, you know, sometimes we see that when families make that decision to sign on hospice, and we're able to go out and our nurses do an amazing job, and our physicians, and when they're able to go out and really do a great assessment of what that patient needs, we can get them under good pain control. And then what happens, I think, when a patient is comfortable is that quality of life just automatically skyrockets. You know, their comfort, their pain's under control. And they're able to just do the things that they wanted to do before. Maybe take a quick trip. We love when our hospice patients get to go and travel and take trips, and they can still stay on hospice when they do those trips. We just help them through that and make sure they have what they need before they go on that trip. And so, you know, signing on to hospice anytime, but especially during the summer, doesn't have to limit what you can do or where you can go. I think it just adds to it because you've got us as an extra call, someone to call, an extra layer. You don't have to go to the hospital, just call. So I think it's really something to consider and think about. I don't think a lot of people realize that.
I don't think they do either. And we're just here 24/7 for families to call if they have a question. They can get a hold of the nurse, and they're experiencing things that they don't know how to handle. They can just pick up the phone and call us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I had a phone call from a family friend today, and she said, you know what, I think we're ready for hospice, but I'm not sure. We might be ready for palliative. And I said, okay. So she said, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. So I gave her our number, and I said, you just need to make that call. And so what's really nice about this is that our team can make an assessment. So they can walk you through that process and say, you know what, it really seems like with your symptoms, your diagnosis, your needs, that you're ready, you know, for hospice care. And as long as the family feels ready, and, you know, philosophically, and they're ready to make that step, that's something that we can move forward and do that for them. And so that's kind of what I instructed my friend today, was just to make that one phone call. The other thing to think about is if right now someone's not quite ready for hospice care, our palliative program is really the place to be. We have just such a strong palliative program, and for those of you that might be watching today and don't really know the difference between hospice and palliative, you know, our palliative program states that when someone has a chronic illness, you know, an illness that is chronic, that's going to eventually take their lives, we know that, but maybe they've got a life expectancy of 2 years or so, maybe they're ready for our palliative program. So they're still receiving treatments for maybe a cancer diagnosis. You know, that's the point when someone can be appropriate for our palliative care.
Someone that's frequently going in and out of the hospital with COPD, CHF, those types of things, then we can have our nurse practitioner come once a month and check on them and report back to their physician. And it's a comfort for the physician to know that we're on board with their care as well, helping him work with their patients. We can help them and report back to him, to them.
So, you know, our palliative program has really grown over the years, and we have actually 4 nurse practitioners, and they see all of our palliative patients. So they can see them at the hospital, they can see them in the homes, and like you mentioned, you know, one time a month, once every 2 or 3 months, whatever really that plan of care and what the goals are that the patient has come up with the nurse practitioner. So you talked a little bit about the doctors, and we met with a doctor a couple weeks ago, and we've just started to work with this physician with our palliative program. And the physician was very grateful because they said that they're made aware of, you know, changes that's happening with that patient. We're going to see that patient oftentimes more frequently than the physician does. And so it's really a well-oiled machine that they work together. The patient doesn't have to give up utilizing their primary care physician that they've trusted and loved for many years, but we can kind of step in and just add that extra care and keep that physician abreast of what's going on.
And we can probably observe things that sooner, because maybe if they're not going into the physician's office for like 3 months at a time, you know, every 3 months, then we are going to be able to catch those things sooner.
Right.
with our staff going in and checking on them.
Absolutely. And so if somebody is interested in palliative or hospice care, call the same number, 740-654-7077. You're going to get a live person that will pick up the phone, answer, just kind of guide you in the right direction. And you know, that's got to be a comfort to know that you can just pick up that phone and call and someone's going to get you to the place you need to get to.
Yes,
Yeah.
and no leaving a message.
Nope.
We will get a person to talk with you as soon as you give us a call.
Right.
And our website's very informative as well. It's fairhopehospice.org, or check out our Facebook page. It's interactive, lots of things going on there. Our toll-free number, 800-994-7077, and also, of course, our regular line, 740-654-7077.
You know, oh, excuse me.
Oh, no, you're fine.
This fresh air is getting to me today.
It's great out here.
You know, the other thing we talk about too is our Facebook page. I think that Facebook page is really a wealth of information. We're able to kind of post articles and support and just all kinds of information. So I would encourage anybody that's active on Facebook to go on there, like us, follow us, and just watch and, you know, be amazed at all the wonderful information and events that pop up. And
lots of good information on there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for tuning in, and we will be right back.
When we came here, when Dad was sick, you walked in the doors and you knew you made the right decision.
Yeah.
They treated Dad like he was so special.
Like he was the only one here.
And they not only treated our dad, but they treated our family.
Yeah.
We had cots, we had soup, we had food. I mean, they treated us like part of the family.
Yeah.
The moment that you're told that you have cancer, so many things were going through my mind.
I had this pain that kind of doubled over, and FMC got me the help that I needed, so I ended up surviving.
Fairfield Medical Center has helped me get through what was the hardest 6 months of my life.
When I first came to Fairfield Medical Center, she was probably having an allergic reaction. They saved her life, and that's why she's here today.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Dagger Law has been part of the Lancaster community for more than 110 years. This is where we live and work. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and all around town. We consider our clients as friends, and we walk alongside you through challenging times. Whether you're a growing business, a changing family, facing litigation, planning your future, or dealing with land issues, we're right here. We are local. We are trusted. We are experienced. Dagger Law.
Anyone who comes in there to visit or obviously to live out their last moments, they're in good hands. And so you learn to appreciate that.
Welcome back to Fairhope Hospice Today. Hi, I'm Kim Shook, Community Education Coordinator here at Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, home of the Pickering House.
And I am Kristen Glazier, Fairhope's President and CEO. Welcome to the beautiful grounds here at the Pickering House on 282 Sells Road in Lancaster. We are happy to be together today on this beautiful summer day.
Yes, it's a beautiful summer day.
It is.
And on the patio out front of the Pickering House, and it's just beautiful environment here inside and outside, and a butterfly garden out back with a playground for children. And
It is. It's just a hidden gem up here.
It sure is. I don't know that our community realizes what's here.
I don't think they do.
Yeah.
With our 2 buildings on the campus and 38 acres, so it's just something that the community has helped us build, and we're extremely proud of it.
Sure are. We have the Anita M. Turner Center here as well.
Yeah.
And grief support, we follow the families 13 months after their loved one passes.
We sure do.
And just lots of support to the whole family and the patient.
Yeah. We were talking earlier a little bit about just the whole process of, sometimes how difficult it is for someone to make that first phone call and to choose to sign on to Fairhope Hospice, and just really reflecting on that as we start summer here in June, and families are together and kids are out of school, and people want to travel and be together, and just maybe how hard it is to kind of make that decision to take that next step and accept hospice or Fairhope Hospice into your home. So we've been talking a little bit about just the difficulty and the stressors that can cause, and how we want people to know that we feel and believe, and studies have shown that quality of life improves when people sign on to hospice. Our staff strives to help them be comfortable with their pain, any psychological, emotional pain that they might be feeling, and really help just even with social concerns that they need. Maybe they need help with some financial things that we can lead them in the right direction. Maybe they need help with food. Those are all things that our team members can help with. So we're really proud of what we can do, and there's always a good time to sign on.
It is, and it's easy as a phone call, even though it's a hard phone call to make. But just give us a call at our number, 740-654-7077.
Yeah, I want to talk about that a little bit. I think sometimes people feel like maybe that's scary, or they don't know exactly how to get things started. But really, like you just said, the hardest thing is making that first phone call, because when you make that phone call, you're going to reach someone in our intake department. They're going to take your information. They're going to ask you a little bit, just a few questions. Who's your primary care physician? Tell me a little bit about what's going on. And even if you're a caller and you say, I don't know what I need. I don't know the difference between palliative and hospice. That's what our intake team is for. As they gather information, they're going to reach out to your physician. You don't have to do that. They're going to get more information, and then we're going to talk about setting up a time to come to your home. We can meet you wherever you need to meet. You can come here to the Pickering House, and then we're going to sit down and we're just going to really talk about what your goals are, what your goals of care are. Do you just want to be comfortable? Are you having a lot of pain? Do you want to help relieve some of the pressure from your family and what they may be going through? So that's how that conversation starts.
And it brings a lot of comfort with our whole team approach, and it relieves some of that stress on the caregivers, because we can become caregivers, and then the family can take back their role of being a son and daughter and husband and wife type, so we can bring that extra support as well.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, I know we're telling you to pick up the phone and make that first phone call, but if you just can't do that, that's okay. We want you to call your family physician and just say, I think I need to talk to somebody at hospice. That's really all you need to say. They'll call us, we get the ball rolling, and the same thing happens. So people often wonder what that looks like once we get started, and really you'll have a nurse or a social worker that will meet you and just really go over exactly what the philosophy and what hospice really means. And if it's time and you're ready for that, then we're going to admit you to our program. You're going to be assigned an RN who will be your specific, case manager. They're going to see you. They're going to see you once a week. You're going to have a social worker and a chaplain that are going to be assigned to you if you desire that. Mm-hmm. And they're going to support you throughout this too. So we have aides that can come in Monday through Friday. They can come in, maybe stay for an hour and a half, and just provide some good help at home. They can come in and help you change the sheets and help get your loved one cleaned up. Just the things that make you tired.
And things that will make them feel better.
Yes.
So they can enjoy the rest of their day and feel good about themselves and what all they're going through.
Yeah, we should probably talk about the volunteers, because we couldn't do without them. And
lots of volunteers.
As a caregiver, I know you know, and a lot of you watching know that caregiving is really the hardest job. And so maybe there's a day when you just need to take a nap. You need to go outside like we are today, get some fresh air, go for a walk, take a nap, that's when those volunteers are going to step in. They can come and stay for, 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 and just give you a much needed break. So I think a lot of people don't realize all the things and all the parts that we have here at Fairhope.
Yes, and I know the volunteers helped our family out when we couldn't be with our mom. The volunteer came and sat there and was there for support while we were out having to do what we had to get done.
Yeah, and that reminds me, that's a great point. So
Yes.
can you talk a little bit about where we can service patients?
Yes, we service patients wherever they call home. So be it a facility such as a nursing home or assisted livings, and or in their home or apartments, wherever they call home. And our area that we serve is about an hour radius or 50-mile radius of the Pickering House. We don't want to overextend our patients if they're in crisis, or our staff, so we can get there quickly. And so we cover all of Fairfield County, Hocking and Perry, which is where our name is derived from. Fair for Fairfield, HO for the Hocking, and PE for Perry. So a lot of people don't realize that.
That's a good trivia question, because
Yes.
I bet you some of our people watching don't really realize
Where
that.
did we get our name? And that's
Remember that,
Yes.
folks, because we may use that for some good trivia sometime.
Fairhope. We
Yeah.
bring hope to those in their time of need. And also we cover Athens, a little bit of Pickaway County, northern Fairfield, clear up into Pickerington, Reynoldsburg, a little bit of Pataskala, Lower Licking. So lots of area we cover.
When we talk about after the patient or your loved one has been admitted to hospice, what happens then is, I think one of the best parts is they have availability for 24/7 on-call nurse. So when you make a phone call, you're going to reach someone that's going to be a live person, and you can tell them, so-and-so is a Fairhope patient and we need some help. 24/7. There's nothing scarier than in the middle of the night and something's changing. You notice there's a change, or you just need reassurance about how to give a medication or how to do something. All you have to do is pick up that phone and call, and you're going to get someone that can walk you through it, that can come out to your home, make a visit, and I think that's just a beautiful gift that we can provide to our families.
Yes,
just
lots
a real
of support.
comfort.
Lots of support.
Yeah. As we kind of think about things that we can do at Fairhope, and hospice is a Medicare benefit. So when you look at the whole picture of Fairhope and hospice and what we provide, we talked about a minute ago, you're going to receive care from an RN, a social worker, a chaplain, an aide, a volunteer. Also, any medications that someone needs that's pertaining to their terminal diagnosis, hospice benefit's going to cover that. Any equipment that you need for the home, let's say you're on oxygen and you need a hospital bed, those things are going to be covered under your hospice benefit. So, now today without hospice, you may be scrambling or worried, how am I going to pay for this? How am I going to get this? Once you make that call to us, our nurses assess it, we can get that equipment delivered to you, and that worry of expense is off your mind. So we have a great physician team that are available to us as well 24/7. So if your loved one is in need of something, we can reach out to those physicians, and they're a great support to us. They round here at the Pickering House every day to see patients who are staying here. So we're just very blessed to have all that support.
And it's not a long-term facility. It is just a short amount of length of stay, typically an average about a week or so.
Yeah, so we can do a lot of different things here at the Pickering House, and what people don't quite understand is, you're not going to get an extra charge for being here at the Pickering House when you come to stay. So, for instance, if a patient were at home and they were having a lot of discomfort or a symptom that we were really having trouble getting managed at home, we can bring them to the Pickering House. We can keep them here for maybe 5 days and really try to get that symptom under control. Because the physicians come here and they round every day, they're able to really look at that. And with the great input from our nursing staff, they're able, most times to get that pain under control, get the patient comfortable. And then that patient wants to go back home again, they can.
Because we encourage them to be in their home. Because everyone wants to be at home.
Right. The other beautiful
yeah.
thing that we do is our respite support
Yes.
here. So Medicare will allow a patient to come 5 nights a month, and if they have a caregiver in the home. So let's say that a patient has a caregiver at home and that caregiver is ill, or has a procedure at the hospital they need to do, or they're just exhausted. They are up all the time and they need to sleep. That's really what that respite stay is about. You can come here, there's not a charge for that. We're going to take great care of you. I'm sure there's some really good cooking in the kitchen going on.
I'm sure there is.
Lots of good cookies and just good support. So please know that that's an option for you. And with the generosity of Virginia L. Pickering, we have this beautiful facility, and so we love to use it when it's needed.
Yeah, it's just amazing things happen here. We can reflect back maybe on some things now. We had a patient, we try to make special wish things come for our patients, and a patient wanted to have one last Mexican dinner with his wife. And so he wasn't able to go to the restaurant, so we brought the Mexican dinner to them and had mariachi music and things like that, so they were able to have a Mexican fiesta.
I know, I wonder how that music was.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who was in charge of that music, but some other things here that have been really special with the Pickering House is just we've had weddings here.
Yes.
We've had patients who have just really wanted to be with their dogs and their animals before they passed, and we're able to bring those animals in. As long as they're up on their shots, they can come in and spend some time with their family members, because we know how important that is, and that really just affects the well-being and the emotions of our patients.
Yeah. Pet therapy is amazing, what a pet can do to bring comfort to a patient.
And in this beautiful time right now, we've got these beautiful double doors in the back of the building. We can open those up and just wheel out those beds, and the beds can go outside. We've got a great shelter house. We've got some quiet area, get a little sun, a little fresh air.
And it's a cardinal sanctuary with lots of deer. It's beautiful.
All right, let's give them the information to find us.
Yes, 740-654-7077 is the number to call, or check out our website at fairhopehospice.org, and our Facebook page is very interactive, lots of good information and things on there, and also our toll-free number 800-994-7077.
You talked earlier in the segment about our bereavement team, and I really want to speak to that for just a moment. Medicare says that we must follow a family for 13 months after the death, and that means we need to reach out to them to make sure that they're really getting through that grief. They're making it through that grief okay, and getting through all that. But I'm going to tell you that our bereavement team goes above and beyond. Not only do they make sure that every family member who wants that interaction is communicated with through lots of things: cards, letters, calls, invitations. We have grief groups that we can invite them to. The other thing that we do that is really just a gem is we support our community and the schools. We provide grief support to the school systems for anyone who has suffered a death. Unfortunately, we see a lot of that these days. It could be, and that person doesn't have to have been on our Fairhope services. So we are really thankful for our bereavement team. And again, you can call that same number if there's anyone in your family or in your heart that really just needs a little extra support.
Yeah. So if you have any hospice or palliative care questions or needs, give us a call at 740-654-7077.
Boy, Kim, I don't know if I want to go inside yet.
I know, it's beautiful out here.
We might just stay here and see you next time.
If you have any hospice or palliative care questions or needs, please give us a call at 740-654-7077, or look at our website, fairhopehospice.org, or our toll-free number you can reach us at 800-994-7077. Remember, celebrate life.
Interface Video presents Fairhope Hospice Today. Brought to you by Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, Fairfield Medical Center, Dagger Law, and the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home.